In this video, I'm going to be rating the top supplement brands' email designs from 1 to 10. And for the video, I've chosen 3 different top-tier supplement brands here. I've chosen one email from Heights, another one from Lemmy, and then another one from Seed. And I'm going to be doing a full breakdown of each of these emails, consisting of the angle of the email, what is good in the emails, what would we improve on the emails, and then at the end, giving like a full summary and final rating between 1 to 10 on each of these 3 emails I have here in this video. So by the end of this video, you should have a better understanding on what does a conversion optimized email design and email campaign look like, and how can you start to create those for your own brand. So let's go straight into the first email here. This is an email from Heights, and the subject line of the email, also the angle of the email, is the chat history between your gut and brain. And then preview text for this email was, and what can you do to support it? So let's take a look at the email first of all. It's this series, like Sunday supplement series they have, issue 306. They're sending these kind of emails every second week on Sundays. And we can see from the design straight away, this is something that Heights does really well. So basically so the whole design flows really well here. Like there's no strict section breaks between the sections of the email. There's just like this 3D background, and then on top of it, all of the copy, the elements, and everything is overlaid there. And you can see if your gut and brain could DM, there's this bubble, kind of like a DM conversation, and then the conversation you're not seeing, this goes deeper into the actual like benefits of optimizing your gut-brain communication. And then at the end or below here, there's like the product recommendation, so transitioning into actually offering a solution to fix this problem that they're talking about here with one of their main products, Biotic, which is a probiotic product that they sell. I'm also a subscriber of this myself personally. Then after the product section, they have Heights news. So they have 5 stars from all the stars. So kind of like a celebrity feature here. Who are the celebrities who are using Heights as well? Then the basic normal customer of the week review. So from one of their top reviews, they're giving like this feature there from Haley. Then there's at the end Dan's sign off, so the founder's personal sign off to make it a little bit more personal on the email. Let's go into the points I have made of this email and what makes it good. What would we improve on the email and so on. So first of all, the angle. This one, it leans into this story-led education with a playful concept. So it's like, well, if your brain and gut could DM each other. So it's like this really playful way of explaining the scientific product that the Heights product itself is. And it imagines the gut and brain having a DM-style convo, showing how your gut health affects your mental clarity, mood, and energy in real time. Then first of all, why it works. For one thing, it's a pattern interrupt. So it doesn't open like a typical email. Instead, it's like this DM-style chat format, which instantly hooks attention and makes the content scrollable and fun. So it's something that if you're going through your inbox, you're probably looking at like 99% of these emails that are exactly the same, looking the same, just like headline, body copy, CTA, nothing special there. But this is something that is definitely different from all of the other emails you see in your inbox. And that pattern interrupt itself is already something that gets more people to read the email, click the email, take action on the email, and so on. Second thing, reliable storytelling. So by turning this science into a conversation, they are simplifying the complex education into something anyone can understand and also enjoy reading. So of course, these topics can be a little bit of, complicated sometimes, like understanding all the science behind these products. But in this case, they're making it really simple and really easy to understand with this personification of your brain and your gut by making this funny, playful conversation between them to showcase the problem that you usually have and then showcase also the benefits that you get from having an optimal gut-brain communication interaction between each other, and then position the product itself as this solution for this problem. Third thing here, subtle product pivot. So just like I said here, it's basically like, first of all, showcasing this issue and this problem, and then showcasing the problem, showcasing the dream outcome, and then positioning the product as this solution that helps you achieve the benefit that they're talking about here. So once the readers bought into the gut-brain connection, they're introducing the solution, the Biotic capsule, with a clever line, upgrade your internal messaging system. All right, then some design and conversion notes of this specific email here. First of all, like I'm already mentioned, the 3D seamless design is something that is really good and that Heights does really well. You can take a look at some of their emails as well, and they're always optimizing and they're always really good at this design. Specifically. What I mean here is that the background, you can see that it flows really smoothly from the top to bottom without any of these harsh section breaks, which gives the email a premium feel and helps narrative flow. So like you can see, this kind of like seamlessly embeds into the whole, like the whole email is pretty much like the same background, just a little bit of gradient there, and then all of the information, content, icons, blocks, everything is just overlaid on top of this 3D background. Another point, visually chunked copy. So there are the chat bubbles, icons, and testimonials. All of these are really well separated in these blocks, and they make it super easy to scan through. So you can pretty much get the key message in just 10 seconds or dive deeper if interested. So this is a really long email per se, like much longer than an average email would be, but it's really well made scannable. So if you just, a normal reader would probably just open it, read the headline, maybe read the headline, subheadline here, scan through these points, probably not read all of the copy here, and then just scan through these points, and then finding the CTA, finding the product here, and then, okay, there's a review, so on, so on. But they're probably not going to read everything. But this is designed in a way that you can just scan through the whole email really quickly without having to read everything and still understand the point of the email. So that's something that is really good on the design here. Then trust stack near the end. So they're layering in the science-backed facts, customer reviews, founder's message, social proof, all of these things here at the end after the main kind of like body of the email. And all of these are designed to reduce the hesitation and create a more personal feel. So, this is more like the main body of the email. This is some features of the product itself, science-based facts. Then here are social proof, more social proof, and then this like founder sign off, which makes it feel like a more personal email compared to an average email that you get from a brand as a marketing email. Other points, footer CTAs. So this is something that we also always do for our clients. So you can see there's shop now, referral program, and then contact us CTAs at the bottom here in the footer. And we usually see these footer CTAs increase the total click rates of any given email by as much as 20 to 50% even, because it's giving people this one last chance to take action. So let's say somebody, go through the whole email, they go through here, they don't click, but they go through it all. They're probably like a pretty warm, high intent lead, but they just haven't taken action yet. However, having this kind of evergreen footer section in all of your emails, where you have the logo, you have these buttons, and then you have your social media icons, it gives the final chance for these people to actually take action and get to the site. And then getting clicks to the site and getting traffic to the site through the emails is one of the main goals of these emails and one of the main benefits of sending these marketing emails. So this is something you should always optimize for. So instead of somebody reading through all the way down here and then just having to scroll back up if they need to press, that's going to decrease click rates. But now that we have these buttons here, they can just after going through the whole email, they have another secondary CTA here that they can press to go to the site to shop or go to the referral program or even go to the contact us section or contact us page on their website. The next point. So now going into the improvement ideas of this email. First of all, the primary CTA is probably a little bit too subtle. So you can see the Shop Biotic button is small, not centered, and easy to miss. So I would probably make it bigger, make it centered, and repeat it after the testimonial section for more conversion firepower. So what I mean by this is that you can see here is the actual section of the, like they don't have a top of the email above the fold CTA, which I would usually recommend. But because this is like a more value-driven email, I can understand that they didn't put it here. But then in this section, now that they finally have the product introduction, the CTA here is really small. It's not centered. You can easily miss this. So I would probably make it like a little bit bigger button, probably around the size of this subheadline at least, or even like full width button. So it's not easy. It's pretty much like impossible to miss that in that case. And then I would also add another CTA, Shop Biotic, again, either under this one, under the review, or then under the dance sign off. Because right now, okay, you have these are at least good that they have them here, so people can still press and shop now. But if they want to shop the Biotic specifically, you should have like a second CTA here or here to it. So people who, go through this first, but don't take action yet, but then they get some social proof, then maybe at this point they are ready to buy. You should have another CTA to Shop Biotic again. Because right now, if they get here and they have finally, built the trust to buy from you, then they don't have the CTA here anymore. So then they need to scroll back up. And that's already something that causes a lot of people to drop off and not actually end up, clicking to the site or converting. The next point on improvement ideas, there's no direct CTA at the bottom. Well, okay, this is pretty much what I already said. So you should have another direct CTA here or here. So yeah, this is something that I already went through. Then trust badges in the footer. This is something that they're missing, and this is something that I would always, for pretty much all of our clients, we implement this as part of the evergreen footer section. So on top of having the footer section where you have the logo, you have the buttons, and you have the social media links, and then you have unsubscribe button at the bottom, you have physical address, these regulatory things. You should also have at the top of the footer section, you should have this evergreen section of these objection handling, trust building elements. Kind of like, as an example, you can have like, review rating like 4.9 star reviews across 10,000 plus customers, or you can have like free shipping above orders at this store amount, or you can have like money back guarantee or whatever makes them trust you more, whatever handles the objections. You should have those as an evergreen part of your footer for everyone who goes through the email, so they know that these things exist and they are there to build trust. Other point, final point, I would probably test the headline clarity. So what I mean by this, I mean this subheadline for the product section. So like I said, this is like a clever headline when it comes to what the email is about, this conversation, this messaging between gut and brain. It's a clever headline, upgrade your internal messaging system, but it's not the most clearest one. So for example, you could have instead a different kind of headline, for example, support your gut plus boost mental clarity, instead of this playful, clever headline. Because if somebody doesn't read through all of this, they might not understand what upgrade your internal messaging system means. They don't tie it straight into the benefit itself. But in case you change the headline here into the benefit that it's providing, product is providing, like support your gut, boost your mental clarity, that might be a better conversion driver. So this is something I would probably A/B test and see which one performs better. I'm not saying that this is not performing as well, but I'm saying that there's a chance it doesn't, and that's why I would test it. All right, that's everything for this email. So now into the final rating. I have given this email a score of 8 out of 10. So it's really good email. A couple of points here I would test. I would probably do a little bit differently to improve it to 9 out of 10 or even 10 out of 10. But overall, really good. And if you're selling a product that requires education or has a less obvious value proposition, I would definitely recommend trying this kind of format. This is a really interesting, really pattern interrupt, really unique email angle, and well done by the Heights team. And the final note here, don't lecture your readers, start a conversation they actually want to read. And this is exactly what this email does really well, in my opinion. Okay, then the second email that we're going to be reviewing today in this video is going to be this birthday sale ends tonight email from Lemmy. So basically what it is, well, you can see subject line, last call to save on KB's faves, and preview text, the birthday sale ends tonight. It's a really classic urgency driving sale email with a celebrity-led visual hook. So you have the image of Kourtney Kardashian here. The core angle is exclusive birthday offer ends tonight, grab it while you can. So it's a short, snappy, and direct, no story or no fluff, just focusing on the urgency, the incentive, and getting people to purchase. So as you can see, it's really short email. There's nothing more than just like, well, sorry for the low resolution. This is a screenshot, but in the actual email, this was like rotating banner, free shipping on domestic orders over $50. So it's a GIF, and then also this one is a GIF, like a moving countdown timer. And there's the birthday sale ends tonight headline, image, and then copy explaining the offer, explaining the code that you need to claim the offer, and then the CTA, and then a footer section. So really short email. If this was like an unusually long email, this is, the email doesn't really get shorter than this one. Let's go into the points I have made for this email. So first of all, why it works. High visual impact. So the top section uses a photo of Kourtney Kardashian front and center, which brings, of course, strong social proof, instant recognition, and brand authority baked in. So yeah, this is like, the brand is celebrity-led brand. You should really lean into that angle, and they're doing that well in this case. Second thing, countdown timer is, as it equals real-time urgency. So the ticking clock GIF here creates visual tension, reinforces the ends tonight CTA, and also adds pressure to act now. So usually the urgency driving email is something that somebody has already, let's say somebody has already seen previous promo emails, but they haven't taken action yet. Now they get hit up with this email. They see that only a couple of hours left before the sale ends. If they are warm leads, this is the email that's going to make them convert. You don't really need much more here than just the urgency driving power and then the CTA to shop now. And this is what this email does well. Like I said, simple, straight to the point copy. So no over explaining, just explaining what the sale is, what to buy, when it ends, and then what to do. So using code and then shopping now. Let me save. Like I said already, perfect for warm list subscribers who already know the brand, who already probably saw the offer in the previous emails, just didn't pull the trigger yet. Then top banner boost AOV. So of course this is good for these kinds of emails. Also this is good for like abandonment emails. We often use it for those type of emails. So the free shipping on domestic orders above $50. Then this across the top is a smart move. Nudges people to buy more to unlock the benefit. And because people are willing to pay a little bit more to get more stuff instead of paying a little bit more or a little bit less, but to actually have to spend on shipping, which is something that they're not really getting anything out of it. So this is something that usually works well, highlighting the shipping threshold where you get free shipping to boost your AOVs higher. Now let's go into the design and conversion notes out of this email. So first of all, like the Heights email, this is again like a soft gradient background here in this email, which flows from the top to the bottom with no harsh content breaks. So it pretty much just like the same background for the whole content section of the email. And then the content is just overlaid on top of it. Makes, again, the design feel more premium and cohesive as well. Another thing related to that, the typography, visuals, and color palette, they all feel totally on brand, which is really important. But even more so when it comes to these big brands, celebrity-led brands like Lemmy's, for example. Another point, secondary navigation and the footer CTAs. So again, the same thing that I mentioned in Heights email, they have these secondary CTA buttons at the footer section here, which offers other options for the people. If they don't convert from here, they can again like check out the proof, they can check out the story to build more trust, handle the objections, and then maybe they enter this place, they see some proof from there, they see some reviews from there, then they are already on the site ready to buy, and then they can just go and shop at that point. Then some improvement ideas for this email. So first of all, this email is missing the above the fold CTA. So what I mean by that is that, of course, this is a short email, the offer itself, urgency, and then CTA button. But what you actually see when you open this email on Gmail, for example, is pretty much this. So you don't see you just see the birthday sale tonight, but you don't see what is the code, what is the offer, and you cannot just press the button straight away. So if you want to do that, you need to scroll a little bit down, find the code from here, find the offer from here, and then press the button. But even though this might seem a little like a minor thing, minor detail, it has a huge impact on the click rates and like due to that as well on the conversion rates in an average email. So let me give an example from Lemmy from another email. So I'm going to be sharing this different tab now to show you. Here's a previous Lemmy promo email that they did on a different promotion. In here you can see there's the offer straight away at the top, a short copy, and then this CTA button. So straight away when you open the email, you see the offer, you see the CTA, you can just press it without having to scroll at all. And then you have here below that, you have the products rotating here in the GIF. Then again, compare that to this one we have here. You don't have the CTA straight at the top. You have to find it from here. And that's going to be something that probably decreases clicks and conversion a little bit. Other point, offer presentation needs more emphasis. So the offer, which is basically save $18 on orders over $90. It's just buried in the paragraph here. So you don't really have you might easily miss this if you don't read it fully. Also the same thing when it comes to the code here. It's at the bottom, it's highlighted, you should see it, but still it's on the same small font and at the end of the paragraph before the CTA. So what I would do differently is I would probably break these down into their own visual block with bold text and then the CTA below that, making it impossible to miss. So what I mean is that first of all, I would move this above the fold, like I said, but I would also have the birthday sale ends tonight. Then I would have an own block below it, save $18 on orders above $90. I would have a block for that so people wouldn't be able to miss it. Then I would have the code below that on another block, use code to shop now. And then under that, I would have the let me save the CTA. So everything would be visible straight away when they open the email without having to scroll at all. And then below that, we would only have like the image of Kourtney Kardashian in this case. And that's how I would improve this email, increase the click rates, increase traffic on site, and also increase conversions that happen as a consequence of this promotion. Other points, I would probably add some social proof or bestsellers under this. So this is like I said, I can understand that this is only like an urgency driving email. You don't necessarily need anything more than just that in the email itself. But I would still say that in most cases, we still add like under this main section of the email, we add, a couple of blocks of like best-selling products or like Kourtney's recommendations, Kourtney's favorites. You can have the products here with their own CTAs to the product pages, just to give some options for the people who are reading the email if they don't end up pressing straight away from this, or if they haven't seen, for example, the previous emails in the promo sequence. I would probably do that, or alternatively, you could have like one long top customer review, really specific customer review highlighted below this, and then another CTA, let me save again, or something like that. Of course, I understand that this is a celebrity-driven brand. They already have a huge amount of social proof, but it's never bad to have, a real customer review there as well. That feels more authentic compared to just having like the brand face celebrity there as the social proof. Then final point, CTA button and size. CTA button size and positioning. So again, the let me save CTA feels a little bit understated and tight. So I would probably try and increase the padding a little bit, and also maybe testing like a contrasting color, which might pop more. So again, we can see here that as this other example of them, they had this more contrasting color outlined with this black color, and this CTA is also bigger. It's above the fold. It pops out more. So this is something that I would probably try for this email here as well. But that's everything I had for this email. And then again, for the final rating of this email, I've given this one 7.5 out of 10. In summary, high visual polish and smart urgency angle, but like I said, it's leaving some conversion upside on the table by not maximizing the above the fold section, stating the offer properly, stating the discount code properly, and placing the CTA button at the above the fold section as well, with a little bit more contrasting eye-popping color as well. But again, it's still a solid short-form sell email that gets the job done quickly and focuses on the urgency, which is really well done. But like I said, just a few tweaks away from being actually great. Okay, that's that for the Lemmy email. And then for the final one, let's go into this one. So it's Seed, email from Seed. The angle is new standard in probiotics. And you can see the subject line of this email was, don't settle for a probiotic that kind of works. Now's your chance to save 25% on DS01. And the angle itself, well, let's look at the email first. So it's a really, really simple, minimalistic email, kind of like giving you this AG1 vibes. So there's this banner at the top, 25% off your first month. Then the hero section, new standard in probiotics headline, the product itself placed on this contrasting background, and then the CTA, save on DS01. Then a couple of features of the product, clinically validated, engineered to survive, superior science, formatted here, bullet points with these icons or with these images to make it more scannable, make it more fun and engaging, and then another CTA at the bottom. And then there's the footer section. They're lacking the trust badges. They're lacking the secondary CTA buttons at the footer section, but otherwise it's decent. And then let's go into my notes that I've made for this email. So again, this one is a classic product introduction campaign, which is all about credibility and quality. It's showing what makes their product more advanced, science-backed, and worth the price compared to others in the market. So a new standard in probiotics. They're positioning themselves as this top-level, top-tier new standard, differentiating from the competition in that way. Why this email works? First of all, authority-first framing. So from the headline, a new standard, to the bullet points, the copy positions Seed as the leader in the category, not just another player. Second of all, scientific, salesy. So rather than hyping, trying to oversell, this content in the email leans into clinical validation, capsule engineering, and scientific formulation, which is great for a target audience that values trust and transparency over these promos or trends or whatever. Point number 3 of the white work section. It's simple and digestible by layout. So each value proposition, like I mentioned, is given its own visual block, making it super easy to scroll, scheme, and understand. So again, like average email reader spends like 3 to 8 seconds in an email. So really, really not a lot of time to grab their attention. Of course, somebody might read it longer, but let's aim to cater to the average reader. So let's say somebody opens this email. What are they able to understand in that 3 to 8 seconds that they have in the email? Well, New Standard in probiotics, they see the product, see the CTA straight away. Then they have the main points. They can just scan through. They can pretty much read the whole email in that time. So it's short email, straight to the point, easy to scroll, easy to scan, easy to understand. So that makes it really powerful, even though it's short as well. Some design and conversion notes. So first of all, strong brand aesthetic. Muted greens, white space, and clinical visuals match the kind of minimalist and science-first brand identity that Seed has. The clear visual hierarchy is another great thing about this email. So you can see kind of like this funneling down from the headline to the product image to the CTA here. It's called like reverse triangle or funnel, however you want to call it, reverse pyramid design. But it's usually meaning that you open the email, your eyes are pretty much just like funneling down the headline, the product image, and then the CTA, automatically funneling your attention to the CTA here. So it is a really good way on the design to increase conversions and increase clicks in particular. So you can see headline, hero image, CTA, product, benefit bullets or feature bullets, and then another CTA. So the eye flows naturally and comfortably through the whole email from top to bottom. Then consistent CTA style. So there's two buttons, save and then start, and they are similar buttons leading to the same action. So we're not trying to get the people to do anything else. We just have one main goal of this email, getting people to take action on this. And that's the only thing we're pushing them to do with the CTAs. So there's no confusion, no analysis paralysis, no forks in the road, nothing like that. Then some improvement ideas. So as the first improvement idea for this email, I would have this one. So add a more compelling hook / description at the top. So instead of just saying a new standard in probiotics, you could try a 2-line headline with a customer pain point plus breakthrough. And what I mean by that, here's like an example that I brainstormed. Most probiotics never make it to your gut. DS01 delivers 100% of what matters, clinically proven. So this grabs attention and differentiates instantly. So you could have that as the sub-headline, description, bridge copy here below the main headline. So you would have this, then under that you would have that copy, then you would have the product image, and then you would have the CTA. So this is something I would probably add there to add a little bit more depth into the email. Another thing, showcasing more real results, social proof, and reviews from Seed. Because Seed has a huge amount of excellent UGC and reviews on their site. They have a full subpage of these tens of thousands of reviews they have there, but they haven't used any of them in the email. And I would add like 1 to 2-line testimonial with a face, a star rating, or maybe like a quote bubble to build trust fast. That's something that would add much more depth into the email itself. Another point, on top of the social proof, I would probably pull a little bit more science backing from the approach page. So you can see that when we go to the approach page on their website, there's a lot of great stuff here regarding like the science behind this product. Really well explained everything, the whole process, step by step, visually explained well. Our scientists, everything is here. So basically, they should utilize this more. They could leverage this much more in this email here. So let's go back to the feedback tab. So that's what I would probably do, breaking down the DS01 formulation, sourcing, and testing standards in a little bit more deeper way than just having these small bullet points here. It could be like an additional section at the bottom of this email, and then there could be the review as well at the bottom. Just explain and kind of show you how you can do that. There's another example I've picked from Athletic Greens. So AG1, like I said, the design is already the whole angle of the email, the whole positioning of the brand is already a little bit similar to AG1 and give me these AG1 vibes. So I'm gonna use AG1's email as an example here on how we could utilize this science backing, how we could utilize the social proof a little bit better to make this email more powerful. So let's go into this example from Athletic Greens. You can see you need more than the multivitamin. Get whole body support for gut health, stress, metabolism, and more. Beyond the multivitamin, hero image, then there's like a description copy, long, like whole, full width, contrasting CTA, impossible to miss. Then so much goodness in every scoop, explaining what the scoop contains and what are the benefits of each of these ingredients there. Another CTA, and then probably the best kind of like social proof part. This is something that AG1 does really well. They partner up with the best and the biggest creators, influencers, podcasters, whatever in the space that are relevant to their brand, and they leverage that social proof that they're getting from there. So don't just take our word for it. The best minds in science drink AG1. And then they have an image of Dr. Andrew Huberman, the host of Huberman Labs podcast. And his quote, I've been taking AG1 every day for 12 years. I trust the quality of the ingredients and find that it makes me feel better. And then his signature at the bottom, another CTA, final CTA at the bottom. And this is something that gives a huge amount of social proof instantly. So even if Seed wouldn't have similar science backing at the same scale as, for example, AG1 has, they can still utilize the approach, the scientific information they have on the approach page, and then they can utilize the reviews that they have so many of on their website to make this a little bit more powerful. And then another improvement idea, final one, I would emphasize the offer much more. So you can see the 25% off banner line at the top. Well, it's there at the top as the first thing of the email, but it's small, it's really understated, and most likely people are just their eyes are gonna go straight into the headline and then funnel down to the CTA. But otherwise, there's no mention of the discount here in the email. So I would give it a dedicated block, kind of like I explained in the Lemmy email previously here. I would give the discount a dedicated block in the hero section with big bold text or like a block or something of its own to make sure that everyone sees it. You cannot miss it, and then place the CTA right below that to maximize the first click conversions. So there would be like new standard for probiotics. There could be the block of the discount offer explained here, and then there could be the save on DS01, and then even the product image could be moved below that to make sure that everything is visible up above the fold. All right, so that's everything for this final email as well. And then for the final rating of this Seed email, I've given it 6 out of 10. So a little bit less optimized than the previous two. And why? Because I think it nails the clarity and minimalism that Seed is probably also aiming for, but it does miss some of these easy opportunities to emotionally connect and build trust faster. So you would want to have the offer stated a little bit better here. You might want to add some description copy to go a little bit deeper here. You might want to go a little bit deeper into the approach, into the scientific backing of these ingredients and the benefits. And then you would want to see some kind of social proof at the bottom of the email before the final CTA. But with just some of these small quick changes that I mentioned here, this could easily be 9 out of 10 as well. So it's not far from there. It's a decent email, but I would add some of those things into it to make it even more optimized, even more powerful, and drive even more clicks and conversions. All right, so that's everything I have for this video. Hopefully these were helpful for you. Hopefully these help you understand a little bit more about my philosophy for high converting emails. Hopefully it gives you insight and inspiration on how can you start to think about your own emails. How can you start to optimize for conversions in your own emails, optimize for more clicks on your emails, and so on. But these are just my thoughts. They are not 100% true, but they are something that we've seen work really well for our clients in the health and wellness space, in the e-commerce space in general, and so on. But that's it for the video. If you want help growing profitably, you can take your 60-second email health quiz or book your free consultation and audit from these links here down below. And for now, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.